Good morning, everyone. How are you doing, villagers? It's great to have you here. Today is JuLive the 8th, and PTV is continuing with its month-long JuLive episodes. I'm Arnie, and thank you for being here. We're going to be discussing this day in Disney history, as well as covering a little bit of news, and I'll answer any questions that may come up as well. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop it right there in the chat stream, and I'll do my best to do any kind of answer for you. Good morning, Donna. How are you? Good to have you here. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate it. It was a fun weekend. As far as current news, the earthquakes have subsided, at least for Northern California. We have not felt anything for it. Good morning, Ben. Glad to have you here. So they're still having some earthquakes in the Southern California region. Disneyland did have to shut down its rides on Friday at about 8:15, 8:30 when the earthquake happened. They shut them down for safety precautions, and we're all doing well. But you may want to just keep those in Southern California. Our friends there are still doing a little bit of shaking. Good morning, Pam's fam. Great to have you here. So anyway, let's go ahead and continue. Let's go ahead and get started with this day in Disney history. Today, July 8th. Unlike the last couple of days, there have been a little more things that have happened on July 8th. So we'll go ahead and get started with some things. For instance, the Magic Kingdom in Florida, they had this theater where the Mickey Mouse Revue used to be. And right now it's PhilharMagic. But before that, there was a show in between those two attractions. There was a show called The Lion King, or Legend of the Lion King. Incorporated everything about the film and some puppetronics and things like that. The puppets were really cool. Everything. That opened this day in 1994. And they had just a real quick opening day ceremony, unlike a lot of other attractions where they get these massive ceremonies. Lots of dignitaries come in. They have, the whole red carpet. And I remember at California Adventure, Ben attended an opening for A Bug's Land, and they had a green carpet. But in this case, it was only a quick 5-minute ceremony, but that show ran for 8 years. And then they removed that, and then they put in Mickey's PhilharMagic, which I'm glad that it's made it to California Adventure, so people on the West Coast that have not been to Walt Disney World can finally see PhilharMagic. So that's a good thing. Beauty and the Beast, the stage show. Good morning, Rachel. Glad to have you here. Hope things are going great in Idaho. Disney's Beauty and the Beast, the live stage show, had opened earlier on Broadway, but the first international production of it opened on this day in Melbourne, Australia, and it has since played to many other places all over the world. Another show that also had some significance, The Lion King. Not only did they open that Legend of the Lion King 94, but in 97, Michael Eisner, who was then the CEO of the Disney Company, attended the first preview of Disney's new show, The Lion King. So that was at the Orpheum Theater in Minneapolis. So it hadn't made it to Broadway yet. They were still on the road testing, working out the kinks of stage shows. That's very typical for Broadway to do that kind of thing. Hey, Disney World Adventures, thank you for being here. Thank you so much. I'm glad you stopped by to say hi. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And if you've come into the chat, don't forget to hit the like button. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay, so then in 2002, happy Monorail Monday. Thank you. Thank you so much, Chris. It's great to have you here. Thank you for stopping by. In 2002, we lost a significant person in the Disney universe. That would be Ward Kimball. Ward Kimball was one of the original 9 old men of Disney's animation studios. He died of natural causes in Southern California. He was 88 when he passed away. Hi, Mary Love. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you being here. He first joined the Disney studios before Snow White started. before they, well, I guess when they were producing Snow White, he was one of the animators that started on that movie. He joined the studios in 1934. So, but he was with Disney for, I guess, his entire career. He was also a big train buff, and there's even one of the trains at Disneyland that is named the Ward Kimball, engine number 5. The other 4 engines at Disneyland are named for presidents and people that were big dignitaries for the Santa Fe Railroad. So, yeah, 2002, July 8th, Ward Kimball passed away. In 2005, this was a big deal. In 2005, Disney was at war. I don't know if any of you remember that, but Michael Eisner, at that point, had been the CEO of the Walt Disney Company for over 20 years. And there were some people that felt that he was not the appropriate person to be running the company at that time. It's all detailed in a book called Disney War. I'll be reading that again shortly because it's a fascinating read. So if you've never read it, I highly recommend it. It tells you a lot about Disney's history from the mid 80s and then follows the next 20 years of what went on with the Walt Disney Company, how they grew, and how Michael Eisner was perceived to be, I guess, something like a despot at that time. It depends on whose opinion you were listening to. At that time, Stanley Gold and Roy Disney put up a huge fight. They even started a website called SaveDisney.com. I don't know if any of you remember that, but it was a huge deal. This was 14 years ago today. They finally called an end to their differences. They put them all aside. And shortly thereafter, Michael Eisner was gone. And then they had Bob Iger put in place as CEO of the Walt Disney Company. And of course, we all know how successful the company has been since Bob Iger has been there. On this day in 2007, another Broadway show. So we've discussed Beauty and the Beast. We've discussed The Lion King. But on this day in 2007, there was another show that closed on Broadway from Disney's theater experience, and that would be Tarzan. It ran for 486 regular performances, so, barely a year. Actually, it wasn't even a year. It ran, well, yeah, it was a year. It ran about a year. So it ran since, I think it was, in my notes say May 2006, it was running on Broadway, and it ran for 486 regular performances and then finally closed. I never had the opportunity to see Tarzan. I understand that technically it was a stunning show. I kind of wish I could have seen it. Oh, Donna, did you ever see the show, Donna? I'm wondering, because I've never spoken to anyone that saw it. I just understand that the whole thing about swinging on vines and all over the theater was quite amazing. Kind of reminiscent of Mary Poppins. I did see Mary Poppins on Broadway. I really enjoyed it. That was a lot of fun. Seeing Bert actually dance upside down on the proscenium of the stage was amazing. On this day in 2008, the Tokyo Disneyland Hotel had its grand opening. Let's see, unfortunately, no, I wanted to. It closed before I could get there. Yeah, Donna, you see, that was the case for me too. In 2007, it closed. Doug, Ben, myself, and other family members went to New York City in March and April of 2008. So at that time, we saw Mary Poppins, and we also saw The Little Mermaid while it was running on Broadway. So that was a lot of fun. Anyway, in 2008, Tokyo Disneyland Hotel had its grand opening. It was a Victorian-style hotel that opened. They have more than just one hotel now, but I'll go into that at another time. In 2009, this was the official ceremony for the groundbreaking of Disney California Adventure Park, of this little thing called Cars Land. That's right. 10 years ago today, they broke ground for Cars Land at Disney California Adventure. And that became the that represented the official change of California Adventure really becoming on its own, becoming a respectable theme park. It opened to dismal reviews. It was very mediocre. For those of you that know the joys of Disney like I do, it's all about detail and so forth. And unfortunately, when California Adventure opened, it lacked a lot of detail. There were some areas that were just beautiful, don't get me wrong, but other areas kind of laid flat, literally flat, rather than having even just like molding on the side of the walls to bring a little character to the building. So it was lackluster, I guess I would say is the best word for it when it first opened, but they've corrected it, and now everything they do there just seems to just take off. The last thing that I remember seeing was that really took off was Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, the new experience that took over for the Tower of Terror. I'll tell you, it's a wonderful attraction. Anyway, 2009, 10 years ago, they opened California Adventure. They started breaking ground for Cars Land. And then I'm just reading that, I don't know if anyone can confirm this. I've not read anything yet, but I understand that there is a restaurant that's closing at Epcot today. Hello, happy Colorado Homestead. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you being here. If anyone can confirm this, in my notes, in what I was doing my research, that today I guess is going to be the last day for the Liberty Inn restaurant in California, in the American Adventure. So that's the restaurant that sits off to the left of the attraction, the American Adventure. It's been there since the opening of Epcot in 1982, but I guess they're closing that location to remodel it, and they're going to be serving craft beers and barbecue. So I'll get a little bit more research done and mention that again if I can, because I am curious about that. So I just wanted to mention that, but that's apparently today, 2019, July 8th. That is about all I have on my list of notes for this day in Disney history. Okay, yeah, Pam's fam, yeah, you've heard that it is changing to a barbecue. Yeah, it's not the Liberty Tree Tavern in Magic Kingdom. It's the Liberty Inn, the restaurant next to the American Adventure in Epcot, in the America Pavilion. Yeah, that's really good, because I'll tell you, Doug and I, the last time we went to Walt Disney World, one of our best meals we had was at the Liberty Tree Tavern. We absolutely love that restaurant. I'll tell you, the pot roast, second to none. I highly recommend the pot roast at Liberty Tree Tavern. When Doug and I and Ben go to Walt Disney World in a couple of years, we will definitely be doing a lot of food reviews for our channel, I'm sure. I'm sure Ben can confirm that as well. While Ben feigns the lack to the ability to cook, he really can do some cooking, but he prefers to go out. And when he goes out, he likes good restaurants where he can get good, solid comfort food. So that's why I would suggest that we go to Liberty Bell Tavern. Ben says he can't. Everyone's been getting that mixed with Ben. Well, you know what, Donna, I'm not surprised. It's true. Ben and I being twins, people do confuse us sometimes. So, but that's okay. You know, feel free to ask. It's never an embarrassing question at all. Please don't think that at all. It's normal for us. It happens all the time. Even as a matter of fact, our father passed away 30 years ago, and to the day he passed, he sometimes had trouble telling us apart. So he would just look at us and say, "Hello, Greg's Disney's Adventures. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it." Ben, yeah, I'm on camera. You're not. Very true. So anyway, to the day he passed, sometimes my dad had trouble telling us apart. He would just call us, "Hey, you," or "How you doing?" Whatever. It was delightful. Anyway, I wanted to let you know that we've got an edit done on Life with Ben. That will be premiering tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. on the West Coast, 10 a.m. on the East Coast. And hello, only passengers. Thanks for joining. I will be continuing with PTV JuLive for the duration of the month. We will also be hosting a nice PTV live show on Thursday night at 7 p.m. on the West Coast, 10 p.m. on the East Coast. It is going to be another edition of PTV Show and Tell. And this week we have different guests than we had the last time. And we're really looking forward to it. It was very exciting. We've got other things to really show. Oh, Donna, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you've been enjoying our shows. It really means a lot to me and to Ben. We enjoy taking our time with all of our villagers. We've had a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to doing more. So anyway, PTV JuLive will continue tomorrow. I will be, thank you, Greg. Thank you so much. Life with Ben tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Eastern. And then we will continue this. Hi, Nabol. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out today for the broadcast. Yeah, I'm just finishing up, Nibble. But you can catch the replay. It will be replaying on Pepper Tree Villa here on YouTube. So anyway, thank you so much for joining. We will have Life with Ben tomorrow morning and another version of PTV JuLive. And I will see you then. In the meantime, everyone, go out there and have a beautiful magic day and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Thank you so much.